I know a lot of people, they wonder just where we'll end up. Living happy ever after, loving our neighbor and such. But seeing our situation, must admit it is tough. Cause more than half the population still has yet to grow up. Now after 20 plus centuries, let us see what's what and examine some point of views to see if we can wake up and understand the paranoia that we have through the years. What I ask is who it is that we should currently fear. Wait, easy question. Just turn the TV on and get the valuable lesson. Cause the question doesn't warrant thinking more than a second. It's all the Middle Eastern fanatics with nuclear weapons, right? Those brown people with the silly Islam, cause only they possess the intelligence to make a bomb. Yet I could've sworn I heard of something called Vietnam. And some scary people Midwest don't read the Quran. It's not a question of arms, it's a quest for concern. Paranoia is the state of being for which we have yearned. But vulnerability is the state with which you must come to terms, and defining terrorism's up to one to discern. But if you think it comes from only big bearded men, just recall the setting of Weaver and Ruby Ridge when mother of three holding her baby shot in the head after the ATF mowed down the only son dead. Think back to lovely Waco, Texas, and then ponder exactly where supposed terrorists den. But if not Arabs, who should we fear instead? Okay, I got it. It's all of the people in the projects, black and Hispanic, always trying to steal my contents without a conscience. You know the place in the route where minorities orally order you while I come out. Where inner city youth are always shooting about, looking to pounce, making profits off the drugs they sell out. But see, I'm calling it out because I truly do doubt that Central Park is the place where these drugs up and sprout. Are you catching my drift, or do you need me to shout? Need me to walk and talk all of the nonsense you spout? How many gun manufacturing plants are under ya? How many blacks are on flights to Colombia? Not a whole lot, so no wonder you're wondering. Your wonderful hatred is coming in with a thundering. Ignorance cluttering, causing violent concussions. And while you integrate my statements, have you rapidly shuddering, rapidly butter your toast. It's going down your throat. Listen to what I'm saying, you need it more than most. Cause blacks are only 12% of the population, yet they account for 30% of the nation's arrests. This is not a test, but I stress you pay attention till everything connects. Cause the leading cause of death for young black men is murder by other men. No pretend, this is what it is. This is what you live. Take a second to remove the dagger from your ribs. Cause more than not, the offender's race is the same as the victim that shot, stabbed, or whatever. It's not a plot, but a choice you got. See, you've been assigned to the character criminal. And in addition, a subliminal acceptance of the role that's been given you. You don't acknowledge what you're living through. Start to see it through. And of course, the contribution of the news is certainly critical. Thus, I don't advise taking the media literal. Unless you like fiction with your cereal. Cause only 1% of all killers are serial. Yet if you went by the news, you should be shaking hysterical, causing the medical team to come and inspect you, fearing the black man's gonna come and get you. Time to check the facts. National crime on the whole's been declining since the early 1990s, so keep breathing, relax. Entertainment motivates the presentation of stats, and emotions are manipulated, so I can't really say that I'm swayed by any primetime official statements where desire to think for yourself put you in violation of the government's interpretation. So what should you fear? Mideast, WMDs, or mistaken American death penalties? What should you fear? Drug dealers selling crack or genetically modified food you eat in stacks? Who should you fear? The teenage kids in detention or the ones in suits stealing your pension? Who should you fear? Homeless people in the streets or the politicians making decisions while safe in their seats? Who should you fear? Gang members who would kill for a stare or the ones charging you for your health care? And pharmaceutical companies keep on paying for the treatment cause cures don't reap as well as continue diseases. Institutions' explicit interest is in making money off of your existence and sickness. That's some ridiculous sick shit. And police commit crimes in the name of justice. Ain't no way McCarthy could ever have touched this. Cops using race to further the case, and then they wonder why there's so many blacks behind the prison gates. Prison inmate, that's a fate that awaits so many black males, cause according to the state, half of them get arrested for index crimes to date. So police, yes, to them let's unleash all our anger whenever there's an officer in the street. Whether local, state, or federal level, if we meet, they're gonna feel what it's like to be at a person's feet. That goes for any chief, patrolmen, and even desk staff. Come on, man, you trying to make me laugh? Have we not progressed beyond 5.5? Pointing and shouting in kindergarten class for real. You can't condemn them in general, cause all that really does is make your position less credible and tenable is such a claim. These people are out every day risking their lives to save people like me and you. That's not to say I condone everything they do, cause quite a few are power hungry and prejudiced, but there's evidence of many with humanitarian sentiments. So if not blacks or cops, I got one more idea for where our fears should drop. White people. For their wars and hate have always been quite lethal. Prejudicial homicide, military genocide. Whites are certainly heading the art of war unequaled. Their religion of cathedrals has killed and mauled, causing indigenous African worldviews to fall. Native Americans are barely left at all, and those who disagree have always crumbled or crawled. Yet he sustains and the white man remains standing tall. So if lack of pigment brings sin, then given the color of my skin, maybe you should fear me. But do my cells contain genes that make me guilty of causing the practice of slavery? No matter the race, can anyone truly inherit disgrace? Ancestral kin, let's begin by seeing this issue for what it is. Cause it's easier to hate than to comprehend, easier to fear than to understand men. Examine your foreign or racial policy and ask, do I grasp the concept of a self-fulfilling prophecy? So you can hate whites or any other race if you like. Be aware though you're bound to lose the fight, cause all you little puppets like to strike with your might, but the puppet masters got far better sight. Now understand right where you stand. Racism, terrorism, they go hand in hand, whether you manage land or have a hand in scams. Social division is simply part of the plan, while you run in the same place, while you watching the TV learning the criminal's face, while everyone around you's in heightened states, while you look to the sky praying for God's grace. But heaven be damned, should you use your voice or ever discover that you actually have a choice. Cause truth be told, when it's all said and dealt, the only thing that you should ever fear is yourself.